All right, and watch your text message. Hello and good evening. Welcome everyone to Thursday, Thriving Thursday Live. We're here today, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. And we want to say welcome everyone, and we want to get you all started today. But first of all, I want to remind you to go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel, become a part of the community, but also expand the community in reference to inviting your colleagues, your friends, and family to come along with us and enjoy the ride here and empower our community. And so we have a special guest tonight. And but before we get to that guest, we're gonna get things started here. And Charlene, go ahead and welcome everyone in.
Good evening, everyone. Excuse me. Good evening, everyone. Like Larry said, thank you for joining us for our Thriving Thursday. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about First Home Alliance, who we are, what we do, the services that we provide, and where we provide those services. So First Home Alliance, we are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency established by our president and founder, Mr. Larry J. Laws, in 2002. He decided to create his own job after serving his country. He was really intrigued, excuse me, by his mother purchasing her first home at the age of 65. And so, again, after serving almost 25 years in the United States Army, he decided to create his own job. And that, again, is how First Home Alliance came about. Now, what is our mission? Our mission is to increase home ownership to low to moderate income family, along with serving our veteran community. What are the services that we provide? We provide pre-purchase counseling as well as education, rental counseling, debt budget management, along with emergency preparedness. These services are provided in Virginia, Maryland, also the South Side of Chicago. But it really doesn't matter where you're located. First Home Alliance can assist. And so we want you to stay tuned to the end of our conversation so you can find out how you can get these services. So with that being said, I'm going to throw it back to Larry. Larry?
All right. All right. And y'all see Charlene is over there choking up. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why she's choking up. The reason she's choking up is because she still say that I established a job. And I did. But guess what? I'm gonna work my way out of a job because it's really more than a job. It's a mission. And so I started another mission. I continue my commission to serve the community, but a mission that is going to carry on long before, long after I'm here. So it's a legacy. It is starting, and we actually we're trying to enlighten our community and continue to serve our community. And we want to light the pathway for others. And so we're going to get started here with our guest. And so I see, I'm gonna go ahead and do an introduction here, but Racyta, you still on the camera, is that correct? And so I will add her to the stage here, but I do see her off camera. And so as we're speaking, Racyta, if you could come back on camera, then I will add you to the stage. But I'm gonna go ahead and give you an introduction here of our guest. We're gonna have a series. It's gonna be a series of the next 4 weeks, and tonight is really more of an introduction to get to know this dynamic guest that we have. And she's, of course, I would give her a title saying, okay, she's a real estate agent, but I'm gonna tell you, she's a lot more than that. And I really understand why a lot of the real estate agents no longer call themselves agents. They call themselves real estate professionals because they do more than just represent you in a contract. But Racyta Abdullah is actually a real estate broker. She's founder of the Home Chaser team. The Home Chaser Network. She is a certified executive John Maxwell coach. She's a trainer, speaker, and author. And she's a powerhouse behind Unbreakable Leaders with more than 23 years of entrepreneurship of experience. And she have 8 years of strong real estate production. She has sold over 300 homes and surpassed over $40 million in sales volume. With that, she has earned distinction as such a two-time platinum agent, Hall of Fame agent, and a Harvard certificate negotiation specialist. Very special. She recently made a national TV hosting debut on American Dream TV, spotlighting Alabama real estate, inspiring community shores, and promoting financial empowerment. As the author of Unbreakable Ambition, she shares her powerful journey from foreclosure to becoming a top producing broker and transformational leader. Racyta is also is the creator of the Referral Riches, transforming chaos into charity. And she's going to share a lot of that with us today. And these programs equip families and professionals with systems, communications mastery, mindset elevation, and wealth building strategies that create generational impact. And that's what we are here to do in reference to make an impact with our community. And we're going to bring Racyta on to the stage. And Racyta, I want to tell you, welcome to Thursday, Thriving Thursday Live. And I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience tonight. We have you muted. Still no sign.
You hear me now?
Yes, we got
Is that better? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Because I was going to
yes.
use my
Can you hear
phone.
me
I
now?
don't have to use it though,
Yes,
because I talk loud anyway.
No
So
problem.
yeah, I talk really loud anyway. So thank you guys for having me, by the way, First Home Alliance. Larry is wonderful by having me be a part of this, and I love to help be impactful, and basically talk about the services, because me and him, I remember him a year ago when he first got at Maxwell, or maybe it was this year, and I heard his story, and the story was of value, and I could relate to it. And for us to be here together, I would have never thought that, because we was both trying to get stage time. But more so importantly, I'm happy to be a part. My name is Racyta Abdullah. Look, I'm from the South. I'm from Alabama, right? I've been through a lot of resilient changes in my life. So I wanted to be more impactful. And even in real estate, I could look at Larry Vision of 20 years ago when he first started his nonprofit. And when I first got in real estate 8 years ago, which I've been an entrepreneur for 23 years, I could just basically tell you the vision that he had. It was the vision that I had, to educate and to be impactful, and his value that his mother put in him and said, look, teach people about home ownership. And that's what I did. And I didn't soar because worried about money. No, it was more about I wanted to connect and be impactful and to help. And I didn't even know the numbers I did until I joined Maxwell. And they said, go and look at your numbers, you know? Right. And I looked at the numbers and I was like, oh, did I do that many homes? And then I got tired. So, we're here. And I thank you guys. I thank you, Larry, for everything.
Yeah. Yes. Racyta, and so in your motivation was there a key moment, or was there a key individual or point that actually you think that sparked you in the direction that you are today?
Absolutely. For one, I can share like-minded things just like you. My grandmother actually told us to go and get a house first. I'm from the South. And I don't know if I just did something. I was trying to share my screen, but maybe I need to turn that back off, Larry. So look, I'm winging it. But the value, she wanted us to put value and go in and not worry about cars and all those things. Buy home. And my grandmother actually had 13 kids, raised all of them upright. And the grandkids came along and look, she raised us upright, and those values live. Mm-hmm. And most importantly, I tell people, by me being a teen mom and the things that I've experienced in my life, the number one thing that you give and give the most, and you will get more in return, is value. So I think more so, I wanted to, when I started real estate, I didn't know where I needed to be at or where God wanted to place me, right? So I went back to those core values, and those core values was, you know what happened? Why are you transitioning with it? And the craziest story is I went to the Church of Highlands for the first time on Wednesday night, and I heard John Maxwell speak. And yeah, I don't know if I heard John Maxwell speak. So John actually talked about, I didn't even know who he was, by the way. I just heard him speak the first time I went there, and he talked about failing forward, his failing forward speech, his intentional living. And I wind up researching him. And my son-in-law is a book He loved books. And he's like,
Yeah.
look, you just mentioned him 2 or 3 weeks ago on the 80-20 rule during meditation. You didn't know that was him? And I was like, oh. So I grabbed this book, Intentional Living, took that in real estate, and I decided, you know what, I was going to add value. And that value came from my grandma's value. And I was going to go and educate and be impactful. So I had a list of, I'm going to connect and get my business card out about 20 times a week. And I wanted to get a CRM built of 100 with networking. So even during confusion that we have right now, you guys, it's very important. And my thing is, tonight we're talking on transformation during chaos to equal clarity. So sometimes, just like I did when I started something new, I had to go back to the roots. So
Yeah.
the foundation, the economic changes I've experienced, and I did not know. I felt like during COVID, 2 years in, I soared with real estate. Now COVID hit, I'm thinking about the failures that I had in '08. Right. So that was me at the age of 30, taking on a $500,000 house, lost it. But I had my first home I bought at 23. So I was able to go back and reestablish with my used car business, by the way. But that's why it's important to have those values. The core values of mindset is everything. So, Larry, we're on transformation.
Yeah.
During which we got a chaotic time. We just came off of the
Right.
longest.
Yes. And I see, going through this transformation, you have a lot to offer. And also I can see your history, getting to know more and more about you, and starting early in, into home ownership, and then sharing, developing all those skills and being able to carry that on. And now you've been able to educate others, through this transformation. And so, but we know it's not always smooth. It's not always smooth. There's going to be chaos. And so transforming chaos into clarity is seem to be your
powerful
thing.
too. Yeah. and the thing about it, let me tell you, Larry, what's the craziest thing about it now? Let me tell you. The first year I got into real estate, I was at an independent brokerage. I became the top person selling, and I like challenge, right? So I'm like, look, if I'm the top producer here, look, I need to go somewhere else. So I channeled and went to Remax. Went to Remax, got there, and normally they don't hire a lot of people at Remax. You have to be a producer. I didn't know that, right? I just looked at the number settings at the split that I had at the independent. Well, if Remax giving 95%, yeah, I have to pay a royalty fee each month, a fee to them each month. But long term, it was a better thing for me, and it was a brand. So get there, go to John Maxwell in September, right? Join Remax in September. Go to John Maxwell. I'll never forget Church of Highland, September 19th, 2018. I think, not 2019. Okay. Right? A year later. I'm sorry, I was in Remax a year later. And John winds up talking, and then boom, the home that I had got, which was a new construction when I got in real estate, I went back and got another home. But I invested in homes during the period of that 10-year period, because I wrote this vision out that I was going to go back. This is why this is important, you guys, with the clarity part of transformation, because right now we're actually going through an economic development, transferring of wealth, right? Systems are transferring, things are happening. We got to get clear about our vision. So at that time, even though '08 era, I went and wrote a vision. 10 years later, this is what I'm gonna do this. Went and did real estate investment during those years, because the houses was cheap, so I invested into real estate. And after I got the Remax, after that year, that's what made me go, because I started doing that. And God told me, look, you need to not sell cars. You need to be over here selling real estate. So I did that. And I went to the brokerage that sold me that home from '08 and didn't know it was my broker. You know why I bought that house, Larry? Off of ego.
Really?
I bought the house off of ego because I felt like I wasn't being noticed when I went there to look at the home. And I felt like, okay, I can prove it. I don't do anything off emotion or anything. Now I do everything off prayer, and I write it down, and I basically set gratitude. I do those systems that John talks about, and it works, you guys. So even now, if business owners, leaders are going through tough times, I say write out that clear vision and transform your mind.
Yes. And so let's talk about, to our audience. So what is chaos? What do you think? What is chaos?
Chaos is when we got so many things in the fire and we don't really know or have a clear direction on where we're going. In business and as leaders, it could be a lot because you can be the mother, the pillar of your family. You can be the wife, mother, right? Oh, but anyway, chaos is no clear mind or vision of where you're going. When things are not going right, I always tell people your worst time is your best time.
Yes,
Do
yes.
you, how do you feel about that part? Like, I got to get some of your insight because you got that wisdom too.
Yeah.
You got to tell.
Yes. Well, chaos, it's, it's different from when you only have one thing that's, that you're focusing on. And I think, but during the day, during our, transforming and as we're traveling, there's always something additional. Something additional. I know they say, let's concentrate, you can only do one thing at a time. But when we start trying to take care of more than one thing, it causes us to switch back and forth. And so with that, now you can't put you can't put what you call the undivided attention towards that to reach that. So now you got divided attention. And so if you do, you mentioned about that having that clear focus and that goal set. If you have that goal set and you're headed in a direction, you know where you're going. And so when those other things come up, you can continue to head towards your goal and still take care of those things that are interfering. When you do not have that clear goal, that clear focus and guidance, then it is chaos. And it could be chaos for one, could be just two things that are causing that conflict, but chaos for others. You're trying to, balance,
balance
job,
the things.
profession,
Yes,
family. Yes. And so
and let
that
me
is
tell
chaos.
you, it was hard because you guys, I didn't
Yes.
mention I was a teen mom too, and I thank God for my kids. I have one, the oldest. She's an industrial engineer in MBA in Emory, living her best life with her husband, which is my favorite son-in-law, the only one. But anyway, he's a mechanical engineer. So with my youngest, and we talk about this, right, with our kids, what you was talking about, the balance system, it was hard because I was in survival mode with the other one, the first one, right? So the younger one, the older felt like, okay, you was able to give her more and do. No, it was, I figured it out. I started out but at the end of the day, I use the same systems, and those systems is clearing your mind and dumping it, right? Dumping it, turn it over to God, turn it over, whatever your faith base is,
Right.
and understanding and analyzing everything. And sometimes, you guys, we got to go back to the basics, the basic core values, which I have a book, Unbreakable Ambition, that's on Amazon as a seller. And I talk a lot about challenging your internal self to be your better self. So personal development is one thing that I have invested in myself over the years, which Maxwell is one of them. It's needed in business. So mindset is everything. And even me, sometimes I have this thing that I created, scarcity mindset. So we go from poverty level, right? Now we at scarcity, and now we at abundance, and then we got to go to significance.
Yes.
So a lot of times we can be at that abundance and walking into it, one trigger and take you back into scarcity mode.
Yes.
And right now that trigger might have been what just happened, 30 days shutdown, which me as a real estate agent, my closings got counsel pushed back and all of the above. But
yes.
During those times, you go out and educate yourself and gain more knowledge. And that's when I realized the economic cycles exist, change exists and evolve, but you have to know how to challenge your mindset to move forward. It's very important.
Yes, that is very important. And I like that you were saying where you could be in abundance, you can go back into, you could go back to survival mode as well.
Yeah,
you
do.
You could drop way back.
The other day when I looked at this, when we was talking, I was like, I don't know which one to do it. And I was waiting for you to get back in town. And the thing about it, Larry, I basically had to, and I went back and read everything that I had. I got all these courses I created, just to I journal myself too, right? To help others. Everything I talk about is from experience. But I went back to that. I was like, oh my gosh, I've been in scarcity about this. No wonder why I'm not moving and I'm not motivated going to the gym. I'm going back to the things, and then I got to go back to the core value, because people need us. They need us, the people that have the experience. And me personally, I always look at how my daughters are. I gave them what I didn't have, but at the end of the day, I gave them more value, because they don't want to deal with mom. They want to more be self-sufficient. The baby girl that's 22, one's 31. She's chemical engineer. She's like, Mom, I'm not ready to go to work. I'm going to med school. Okay, that's fine. Figure it out. But
a professional student, right?
Yeah. So it's like, but you gotta choose the app. And she's an introvert. So it's like she's an introvert, but I coached her to greatness. So I feel like, she know how to turn it off and turn it on. So I like teaching and helping people. Yeah.
And I know sometimes we think, I have youth too. I have 3 boys.
And gosh, all boys.
Yeah, all boys.
Was a rough one.
Yeah. So I think 41, 37, and 33. And so you would think that sometimes why are they thinking the way that they are? Why, I have one professional student, and like what it is, we didn't have that option because we spent more time in survival mode. Yes. So when you're out here surviving and trying to make ends meet, how can you think above that? Just transform it.
It's hard.
It's very hard.
Tell you, it's very hard, even with the economic changes that's happening. You got to think. I've been 23 years entrepreneur, right? When issues hit 2008, by 2010, I don't know if you guys remember the segment that used to be on CNN. His name was Mark something. He's on there always talking about financial. So I started educating myself. Yeah. And I started a cleaning business until the car industry bounced back, right? And then I started investing into real estate. So the homes that was 20, 30,000 in great areas, now they're 160. So I still actually hold those homes and still have them as rental homes. Yes. But more so importantly, even now with this change, you guys, I can tell you, go out, get your mindset, join communities. I just created one online with school, Unbreakable Leader community, to get empowered, get impact, be impactful, because we can't just tune into all the noise, the chaos, right? We got to go and transfer our minds. And I did that on AI. I did AI. I'm great with tech. Everything I did in my business has been from marketing and understanding where business pivot, where they have the issues. And a lot of times with the issues, even with real estate, we're not connecting enough because we too overwhelmed, right? That's chaos. Yes. Correct. Do you agree?
Yes,
Kids can be chaos.
Yes.
Right. Business can be chaos, and we can be burnt out. So sometimes we got to take that self-care and transform our minds.
Correct.
Those. And move forward.
Yeah, and you just mentioned about 3 M's in there. This has happened probably if in the last 25 years or so that I can recall, because I actually been out in the military since 2004, so it's probably a little bit 20.
Oh yeah. So you can serve.
Yeah. So I went through it in the military. When I was in the military, a lot of the things that was in the news with the market and things like that, the things that was happening in the civilian, it wasn't the same as being in the military, because I was totally focused on the mission of the military and the things that I had to react to. So into that environment, then stepping out of there, then I'm more involved in the market and what's happening with the economy. And so when the economy bogs down, whether it hits you directly or not,
it's going to impact your home somehow.
Yes. And so, we see the impact of 2008. Well, it's actually prior to that, 2005 and 6, when things started jumping and rising up. And in 2008, you had the crash. And then now we have the pandemic. And then immediately after that, you have economic crisis. But it's a cycle that we go through. And if you've been there before, it's not time to mark time. In the military, when you mark time, you just dump in the mud. You're just digging a hole, you mark in time. When it's in the storm, it's time to double time. So
Yeah.
double time is when you're picking up stride and you're moving forward at a twice the energy when things are normal. So it's not time to mark time, it's time to
Mm-mm.
double time. And so speak on that market. We talked about money and really where it starts
It's
in
the
the mind.
mindset.
It's
It's the
a,
mindset. Because I just tell you, you guys, the last 30, 40 days, I've been going out and getting investors a lot so I could actually learn and do more on Maxwell, not on Maxwell, but be used as a vessel based upon the business because people are always reaching out to me.
right.
So I decided to figure out the pain points in business, real estate, and a lot of times it's just like we said, the survival mode, the scarcity mode, the abundance level, and then the significance. So we have to actually go back to the basics, but not so more. We have to actually look at the whole picture, and we have to find gratitude in the areas of where it's hard sometimes, you guys.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, it's hard,
See,
But yeah, but
yes.
Maxwell literature has carried me, and we're gonna go back what you mentioned, right? I
Right.
started Remax, boom, took that book, right? That book I did executive level the first year at Remax. That's 75. Then I did 100 club. Then I went to platinum club 2 years in a row, right? COVID hit going on to the second to the third year, which was
Mhm.
2020. Yeah, 2020. I got so nervous because everything was shut down. I'm walking in the 100-degree weather in Alabama. And I was walking, and because my Highlands is right here outside my neighborhood. And I didn't know John had coaching down there. And I was like, look, I need a coach. Look, I'm scared this is gonna happen. I'm scared that's
Right.
gonna happen. I need a coach. And I took this book, and I didn't know you had this organization. And I want to get someone to help me to navigate my mind through this tough time because I'm seeing '08 come back, right?
Yes.
And she told me, Shauna, she said, you curved it. You need to come and join. I didn't join because she told me the price. I'm like, no, I figured it out. But a year later, so I joined. And my daughter was like, why are you going to go and join that? It's the best thing ever, you guys. I could tell you, met Larry there, met a lot of people, but it's a lot of people that's in need with what we're trying to do. And that is bring people forward, transform their minds, concepts, and business. But most importantly, leave that legacy and that significance because I can give my kids this, that, and everything else. They never talk about that, right? They
Yes.
talk about those values. You
Yeah.
remember this? You remember when you had to go in to the car lot, then you had to go and we had to go and clean at nighttime because you made us
Right.
go and get our car at 16. We had to clean. So I had all those businesses going whenever after that chaos. But then I wrote a plan, and that plan scared the crap out of me in 2019 when I opened up my old journal
Right.
and everything I wrote had mapped out higher, and I was scared. And I'm like, what's next? Oh my gosh. So even like me going to Remax, and that was the brokerage that was on the seller side, not on the buyer side. Mr. Joe gave me so much value. Wonderful soul. He died last year, and I had to go on my own and get my own brokerage. But those values and what he carried up to about the age 80 and being in real estate for 50 years, that value carries and lives with me each and every day.
Yeah.
So it's important, Larry. It's important to go and get personal development, you guys. Get community. Community is needed right now.
Right.
You can call me up, coachhomechaser.com. Um, Whatever you need, community is needed, but to bring people forward is a part of my mission and Larry's mission.
Yes. Yeah. I really enjoy. Appreciate you sharing that personal story. Did you have you had something additional personal story with something dealing with maybe foreclosure story?
I did. I
Yeah.
did. That was from '08. So the
Yes.
'08, 2000 used car dealer, I start selling cars at 22, 23, right? I had a fetish for cars. I loved it. And I got dealer's license, this long history, Larry. And, my my biological daddy, I had one to raise me, but my biological daddy, he was in cars. And when I went through that transition period, which was '08, I got an arm. adjustable mortgage. That's why I take pride in what you do, counseling. What do you think? I got my numbers from counseling and doing consultations before they
Yes.
purchase a home. And I just tell you, if I didn't do consultation with them, guess what? Most of the time they didn't buy. They wasted my time because they work too much. We approve. They It's a circle. So I kept the same systems of consultation and showing the steps. And if they did not qualify, right,
Yes.
I would turn around, help them on credit counseling, the places that I was at, and we'll close by that year or next year, or even when they get a bankruptcy or whatever. I just had one that I closed on last month, 2 sales and one. She was in bankruptcy 2 years. She called me every 6 months. And she wanted to do it her way with her credit when she didn't rebuild.
Right.
And I said, look, let me do it. Finally, she let me do it. She got approved in 30 days.
Yeah.
Sometimes I let them have at it because they don't want me to
Yes.
see everything.
Yes.
But education with minorities, especially with the gap with home ownerships, is very important to me. That
Yes.
was the value, like from your grandmother value to my value. It was a
Yes.
core value. The numbers came from it. It
Yeah.
didn't come first time home buyers, um, minorities. I have diversified license. I understand mortgages. I understand how DTIs and how things should work in order for you to qualify. I did cars forever. Anybody can get a car, right? But
Anybody
homes you can work for.
It was.
So it's like, but '08 almost took me out. Gas went $5. My credit line at the used car lot went from this amount, 6 figures, down to 20,000.
Yes. They
I
cut.
was like, how can I do this?
Right.
How can I go and buy cars? How can But when I went back and rebuilt everything up 2 years later with the car industry, um, I had a mentor, a Jewish guy. Monty is in my book, by the way.
Yes.
And I doubted myself. And he said, you're the same lady that can go and sell and make $20,000, $30,000 a month in cars, right? Why are you questioning yourself on $600 a month on rent? And I was like, well, you don't know me now. I've been selling from my house. But more so, you go back to those core values of where you started,
Yes.
and
Right.
don't give up, you guys. Do
Right.
not give up. That's
Yeah.
why I love Maxwell literature, because he talks about these things and how it's hard. Sometimes we have family issues. We got to break
Correct.
those trauma bonds.
Yes.
We gotta break different curses and generational curses, right?
Yes.
And the crown get heavy. But if you have systems in place, it can help you navigate.
Yes.
And I believe in systems.
Yes, and I just want to remind our audience out there, if you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and drop there in the comment block. I do see a couple of people there in the audience, and they're just saying hello and thumbs up.
Hey,
And-
look, I hope I'm not talking too much, you guys.
no, no,
I'm
no, you're doing
passionate.
good. You're
Yeah,
doing good.
because I've
It's
been in business for a minute, but I just feel like we all can do it, right?
yes, yes.
If you have someone, and I can just tell you about
And
me.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was you expecting someone to come join you on stage?
No, I was not expecting. That's my VA from she's from Philippines, and I told her about it, and I like, look, I got a workbook. Where's my workbook in case I want to
Okay.
throw it in there? And she's like, I want to see it, so I sent her the wrong link. So maybe you can do it as backstage where she can see it. I'm not sure, but she's a sweetheart.
Yes.
Jay is a sweetheart, so yeah,
Okay.
she's
All right.
yeah.
And
You want her
did you have a screen or something that you wanted to share with the audience?
Yeah, we can. I
Yes.
want to also talk with the audience about, we talking about transition and transforming. Mindset is this week. Next week is going to be on finances. Um, um, all of this stuff is core values with business, because I've been through the good, bad, and the ugly. And only thing I can tell you, most people that I talk to, even like I said, the Maxwell family, um, if you don't have the right mindset to come up out of it, it can take you out. So you got to actually speak over yourself, move forward, and adjust. And even right now in these tough times, you guys, it's needed. In business, wherever we at, grab a community, grab like-minded people, and say, look, I'm here right now. Let's write this vision out. And when I tell you that vision is going to help you, it's going to help you navigate against the curve, the economic changes like Larry said, you experienced it in what, '04 you mentioned?
Well, transition from the military in '04, and
So how
then
was
of
it for
course
you?
the organization and also the entire community 2008. And of course I had vision. That's what kept me, in the game.
Yeah.
But I wasn't taking care of my health. And so I actually had a heart attack during that time period. At 47 years old in 2008, I experienced a heart attack.
Wow. You know, my grandfather passed at 50, and my
Yeah.
grandmother was left to raise the majority of the kids, the
Mhm.
13 kids. He was railroad. And that value that she always had those core values. And I look back at it now, um, writing down, speaking positive over yourself, and I do the same thing. But it will take you out and take your health out. And I had to look at myself, and I always go back and say, give gratitude. Even during COVID, I
Oh,
gained 60 pounds selling all those homes, right? I'm
yeah.
eating out a lot where I go to the restaurant, they know what I want. And for me to get through this, I knew this was going to happen with the
You know it.
market.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's a part of it, right? That's why I
Right.
joined Maxwell. Joined in
Yes.
22 only because I needed a group of people to talk to me about moving forward. So Maxwell, John said, make your courses. If you don't make your
Yes.
courses by 25, you're going to be outdated. And I was like, oh, let me make these courses. I made all these courses, didn't do anything then. Didn't do anything, but I tell you, I put one thing out when real estate was changing last year with NAR. I put
Correct.
one video out. Nobody liked it, but one person on Facebook put it on LinkedIn, and EXP came for me in May, 9 days later, and said, would you come and be a coach with us? And I didn't do it at that time, but when my broker died 2 months later, it was transition period for me. So I did it. So I was a coach there because I helped motivate against the curve. But even now, I looked at AI. I'm like, what all is changing now? It's going crazy. So I didn't get one certification. I got two certifications from two companies in order to understand what AI consists of. And it's really administration tools in order to help you scale and talk to this new generation, you guys.
Yes.
So the new
Yes.
generation.
And so,
Yeah.
and so you're really talking about people that can get stuck. And so why do people feel like they're overwhelmed? Why do they feel that way?
Doing too much.
Yeah.
Doing too much, don't have a clear, like what you mentioned, you stated that you so you only had the nonprofit. Did you do anything else in business after military?
Oh no, I do a lot more.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
do
no,
you not get
yes, and so
overwhelmed
during that time,
sometimes?
yes, and so I've ran a family
Uh,
business, and I had some
oh,
I do investments and things of that sort, and so yes, and so we went through not only with the nonprofit going, well, we also ran a consignment store, family operated.
oh,
And so with that, and so when you start talking about economics, and when people are not only purchasing home, but people are not spending on retail either, and then it's a number of real estate properties as well as manage and own. And then some people are not paying rent. And so you're talking about not that's again not time to mark time, but I have the triple time. But
triple
I
time.
have the triple time, to
You're
make all
right.
those things come
Mhm,
to stay
mhm.
afloat. And so
And
yes, and so yes, I've experienced that. It was hit for all directions.
so basically, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
So
yes.
framework is what's needed, you guys. And let's talk about this. What Larry's talking about with this framework is uploading. Because I'm a little bit new. I do StreamYard sometime, but normally I just do it on me doing it separate. So can you guys see the screen? It's not about me. Let me go on screen past this. Okay. Can you see the screen, Larry?
Yes, we can see the
Okay.
screen.
Okay. So in this is I feel like this was my journey in like breakthrough. We have those moments, and like Larry said, I experienced them 2008, but before then, I experienced them by being in survival mode with a teen, as a teen mom. So when we don't have a clear mission, and that clear mission with me was like, okay, I just want my kids to be better. I'm going to work real hard and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Then it went from my kids to my niece, my nephew. My dad lost his job. I had to work for my company. It's a lot, right? But we
Mhm.
have to go and help and serve and say, you know what? God's not going to give us no more than what we can bear. So we got to identify during that chaotic time where we at and tune out the noise and step-by-step process to get you back to where your core values are in life. So even now, we got the government and everybody's talking about AI taking jobs, right?
Right.
AI is not going to take most of the jobs, you guys, because you still have to have someone to communicate. Communication effectively is still needed. And not only that, the same thing with when we have chaotic situations, what is clarity? Gaining communication on your core values and where you sit at. So the framework is needed in order to set the boundaries, communicate your expectations, whether it with your team, your family, your mate, and be able to mature the mind in order to create the alignment to go to that next stage that we're trying to get to. Do you agree, Larry?
Yes, yes, I do.
So how did you pivot coming out of the military? Because I know that was tough, right? You
Yes.
gotta tell me.
Yes. Well, again, coming from something that's structured, I have an Uncle Sam, and my uncle, I have a real Uncle Sam. I have one that I pay taxes to, but I have my Uncle Samuel Laws that I pay a lot of respect to. And so he had spent, he was in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And so times was different, but he sort of thought that when I was in the military, very similar to World War II, was that the military do everything for you. You don't need to spend your money. The only thing you need to do is just invest your money and don't spend a dime. That's the way he was from. They give you a uniform, they give you something to eat. You don't need anything else. And so, but anyway, in the military, it was pretty structured in reference to well, I found that the military didn't really pay me the amount that I really needed for the things I wanted to do, because I wanted a little bit more than what my pay grade paid.
Mm-hmm.
So I began to do other things, to increase my income. But I had a good base. I have a very good base. But once I got out of the military, that transition out was different. It was not structured, from 1 month to the next.
It's hard. Yeah,
Well,
it's hard. It's
it was
structured,
not.
especially with business, you
Yeah.
guys. Now
I used to
that's
get 30. I used to get 30 days vacation every year in the military. But when I got out, I don't know when the last time I went on vacation.
and guess what? As being an entrepreneur, people don't know when they get in business. You work 10 times harder.
Right.
Like I wake up, like even with doing this with Larry, and I've been doing so much training with AI business, trying to get business to where I could communicate on a better level, because that's what these tools are for. But I go to sleep thinking about these tools. I wake up thinking about these tools. And it was more like, okay, everything is shifting. But then we worry so much about tomorrow, but we got to live today, you guys. And that's taking care of your health, clear direction, unshakable confidence. Confidence is gained by momentum, for one, right? And systems. And sometimes we got to go and get tools and also a supportive community. If you have a great community or someone you can talk to, it was always outside the box. My daughter told me recently, this was like a month ago, she didn't know why I go to all these events, right, and network, because I want to know what other people experience. So when I hit that mark, it's not about, financial support, is more about, they've been here before, like Mr. Joe was here and this is what happened. So the economic change, if he did 50 plus years in being a real estate agent and 40 plus being a Remax broker, guess what? I could do it too. I have to go and add extra systems, like Larry said. You had to go and create and align with your lifestyle, right? With systems. If that business not working, guess what? I went and cleaned. I was a janitor. I went and did commercial buildings.
Create another one. Yes.
Yeah, I created another one.
Yes.
Like, that's the whole thing. We got to create, and the way we create is changing our mind, and also going into the community and saying, what gift did God give me? What's my talent? Because what I do, you might not do, Larry. But when you talked about those core values, I was like, Larry got to be from the South. He's not from. And you guys, I talk a little Southern, not as clear as Larry. So just.
Yeah. Well, we're neighbors. I'm from Arkansas, so we're neighbors.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, I didn't speak very much as a child. I spoke with my friends, but getting, out and talking up, speaking in class and things like that. So my language, didn't develop until after I left Arkansas and went in the military. So maybe that's why I don't talk like some of those guys from Arkansas, Alabama. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
you're right. You're right. You're right. 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 And that's the whole thing. I have to catch myself, and then when I go and talk, like next week Thanksgiving, there's no telling
Yeah,
how we'll talk, but we'll understand the language. And then
yes,
sometimes with me, I get so excited, and my family was like, "Why don't you calm down?" Well, I found out that's my gift. That's
yeah.
the mindset of the positivity that helped me
Yeah,
flow
but you're
and
you're
stay
talking
focused.
about communication, and you do have a very good communication skill.
Thank
And
you.
the other thing that we keep saying, or you keep saying, the transformation for you, you don't talk like you from Alabama either. Probably it'll come out maybe if we, whatever, get
Yeah.
in a group and they're talking, that we'll
Um,
start sounding just like the people we're with. But talking about lifelong education, a lifelong student.
yes.
You talked about the different business changes, the mindset and things like that. But for the last 20 plus years, this is post any
Yeah.
high school,
Yeah.
college, or
Because let me
whatever.
tell
You're
you.
still getting educated.
That's the thing. And see, I looked at this year, I was like, wow, I didn't spend a lot on personal development and
Yes,
everything. And I recently went to Atlanta to Eric Thomas, which Yannick, which is a member too, a Maxwell member. He's been coming to Remax for the last 2 years.
yes,
And he wanted me to do more in helping and serving. He's like, you don't really need to be selling. You need to be out here giving your experience. Because he
yes,
was a doctor and he left in order to serve and show other people. But long story short, he winds up saying, he told me about the Eric Thomas thing, which is a nationwide, speaker, big Eric Thomas, but he
yeah,
gives back every third Saturday in Atlanta and go to this event and he speaks and give motivational. No fee. That's his thing to God each and every month. So, but Yannick is over there serving, and he told me about it a year ago. And when I got there, he was like, "Look, you put so much in personal development, but it's time for you to go and do more in the community help." So that's why I thank you for letting me be a part of this. But communication and personal development is needed in these chaotic situations because clarity is everything, you guys. You got to know where you're at, where you're going, and it's hard to do. But if you brain dump everything and you go back and look at what you brain dump, I can rest assured most of those problems are not your problems. You carrying dead weight. Do you agree, Larry?
yes,
You only can control what you can control. And I'm still learning it now, you guys. I'm learning it. And it's a part of the transition, the transformation, the clarity, the connection, this step, that step. I sometimes reach out to people just to understand, look, have you been here before? I don't mind picking up the phone calling.
hmm yes,
Yeah, so I really know life can change if we start looking at where we at, where we want to go, and especially in these tough times. I always tell people again, your tough times will be your best times if you understand it's experience to make you grow, not to kill you or take you out. It's all about that experience. We call them life experiences
yes,
in order to help others.
yes.
So, any questions, you guys, or Larry? What do you say? Did I talk too much, Larry? I know
No,
we're on this
you
path.
did. I mean, you did very well because I didn't only have to ask you a few questions because you got all that experience, and I really appreciate you sharing it. I look forward to sharing this time with you over the next. We're really together for a whole month, but we're
Yeah,
kicking things off.
yeah.
Jay Lamont, our coach. I want to give a shout out to Jay Lamont. We'll make sure that he
Oh
can.
yeah, yeah. Look, Jay is the one that keep us going. Yes,
Yeah,
and we do Tuesdays and Saturdays with Jay. That's how I met Larry before Jay, because
yeah,
Larry was with me at the first this year when I gave myself. I wanted to do more, and
yes,
that's where I wanted to do this year. Then AI transform. I'm like, look, I got to go and learn this. I got to
yes,
still go and educate myself in this business. And when I realized it, I was like, wow, I can go and help others because these systems, they're helping me. Like
yes,
I am a horrible follow up sometimes, and the systems that you can put in place to communicate with the simple emails. I'm saying simple emails because we get so many emails,
The
but
technology
the
behind that.
technology part. So don't let it scare you guys. Go
Yeah.
out, gain the knowledge, get personal resources to understand how can we get through this curve right now in
Yeah.
this economic change.
Yeah, and I will add just a little bit, and I'll let you do some closing remarks. But I look at it as the seasons. You know those seasons,
Oh,
you go through,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we're talking about the storm. So it could be fall for some, it could be winter.
Mm.
But during those seasons, that's when the branches fall off and things of that sort. But the strong survive because we go through those things that make us stronger. But the season is going to change, and we're going to spring up, and there's going to be harvest.
Yes.
So
Look, you
just look
guys,
at it as the seasons. We're going through a season for a reason.
it's a season of
Yes,
clarity over
correct.
chaos, and we're going to
Yes,
transform into our greater selves. And
yeah,
only thing I can tell you is that's my philosophy about life. I look at it, do I be in tight times with business? Yes, I was about to go crazy with these deals. And then I'm like, you know what? But guess what? Invest Investors see things different. But the thing about it, I have to show gratitude. We do close, we move forward, but then guess what? Business go up and down, but if you keep
right.
your systems and you talk to people and go out and prospect during these times, go out and figure out some new hobby.
Yes,
Create a new hobby in order for you to master it. Like Maxwell said, master the hobby, turn it into a course,
correct.
not turn it into a community. And
Yes,
so you're bringing people forward and you living in significance. And that's the happy part that I see. And that's what I did with business over the years. And do it get tight? Yes. Larry can agree. So,
yes, yeah. And just one more shout out, on the John Maxwell link. I've went through the 20th law of leadership, and so this week was the law of explosive growth, and so it's the next to the last
wow.
law. 21 laws, indisputable laws of leadership. And so, yeah, it is that season. And so I would like for everyone, for our audience, to continue to stay connected to this channel, stay connected to
Mhm.
First Alliance as well, and we'll do some announcements. But I would like to give opportunity for Racyta to go ahead and let us know how they can find out more about you and continue to follow you. Of course, you're going to be here next Thursday, but tell them how to look for more
Yes.
information about you.
Yes. And also, you guys, Larry and I talked about Dr. Deborah Bird coming next week because she's a financial expert. But not only that, she also like to help with clarity of the mind and going into that next season. Like Larry mentioned, this is a season, you guys. It's survival, but it's a season because everything is changing. But if you go and get with like-minded people and figure out the changes, you can actually work past the changes, and also you can serve and gain your significance in whatever you do in life and business. And also, guess what? Just get outside and just go and show gratitude in the areas of life. And it's hard. I just tell you, it's hard. My kids are now grown, and it's hard changing. Um, it is up and down, but at the end of the day, I can say abundance, significance, legacy. And that's what we're here to do and help. So even though things might get tight, get a clear conscience, gain confidence, whatever makes you happy, do it. But most importantly, go out and serve. Serving, adding value. If I see people in the store sometimes and they're like, Racyta, do you remember you told me this? Like one girl at the gym, I just told her, look, you're doing all of that. You should just go and be a real estate agent. And she winds up telling me 3 months ago she's a real estate agent. Well, I was like, wow, I forgot I told you that in the gym because she was wasting so much time and energy on drama. And I was like, if you got that much time, then you can negotiate. Go and negotiate some deals and put something together because you're playing and doing all these extra things. Life
Yeah,
is too short,
yeah.
health
And
wise.
yes. And so, Racyta, do you have a social media page, maybe one of your favorite that you want to share with our audience, or website?
Yes, yes. You can look me up on coachhomechaser.com. I also have unbreakable leader dot solutions. right? That's the new AI. You can go and see my video. I talk a little bit about it because I really want to help businesses transition, not only business, even independent people
Okay.
transition. And
All right.
on each and every Monday, starting next Monday, because holiday season is coming up, I created a segment which is just this transformation during times of chaos and also with
Oh,
clarity. And I'm
okay.
sorry, I'm getting a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
overwhelmed, but
No
anyway,
problem, Racyta.
on
You can.
Mondays.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
on
so
Mondays. So
yes. And
I'm
so
here for it, and I'm sorry I didn't eat because if I would have ate before I came here, it's a
okay.
long story, you guys. But I'm
All
here,
right.
and I thank God for Larry having me here, and we'll be on next week.
Okay, Racyta, we're going to see you next week. And for our audience, I want you all to
Uh-huh.
continue to follow us here on our Thursday, Thriving Thursday Live. Also, catch us on Monday morning at 7:15. That's Yoga with Tippy. And also, check our website for our first-time homebuyer workshops. We have it on the 15th of December. We have that monthly. Check out our website for other online courses. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Again, I want to
Yeah.
say we're here for your financial fitness and to help you thrive in the community. And want to say thank you, Racyta, and we'll see you again next Thursday.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Bye.
All
All
right.
right. Thank
Continue to
you.
follow us and like and subscribe.
Yeah, Larry, you did great. Great.